Hello and welcome to the strange history of Mount Nemrut, Turkey's ancient civilization. Southeast Turkey's Mount Nemrut is a magnificent archaeological site that has long intrigued both tourists and academics. The location has a magnificent sanctuary with many statues and temple buildings that is situated atop a mountain summit. Because of its complicated history and significance, which are still not entirely understood, Mount Nemrut is extremely fascinating. The site was created in the 1st century BC as a religious hub for the king's cult by King Antiochus I of the Kingdom of Commagene. The specific purpose of the website and its target audience, however, are still unknown and have generated a lot of discussion among academics over the years. The fascinating origins, building, and rediscovery of Mount Nemrut will all be covered in detail in this film. We will also look at the various perspectives on the significance and meaning of the site and talk about how important it was to both ancient and modern Turkey. So take a seat back, unwind, and join us as we explore one of Turkey's most fascinating ancient civilizations. The early history of Mount Nemrut is strongly related to the geological creation of the mountain itself. Mount Nemrut is a huge mountain situated in southeastern Turkey, near the borders of Syria and Iraq. The mountain is made up of sedimentary rock strata that were developed over millions of years, and its top reaches a height of 2,134 meters, 7,001 feet, above sea level. The region around Mount Nemrut has a rich historical setting, going back to the period of the Hittites in the 2nd millennium BCE. However, it wasn't until the 1st century BCE that the area acquired increased prominence with the foundation of the Kingdom of Commagene. This kingdom was controlled by a succession of great monarchs who defined themselves as both Hellenistic and Persian in culture and who strove to create their own distinct style of religion. The most noteworthy of these rulers was Antiochus I, ruled 69 to 36 BCE, who commissioned the building of the Mount Nemrut temple. This grandiose project was created on top of the mountain's peak and comprised a variety of sculptures, temple buildings, and inscriptions. The sanctuary was intended as a focus for the religion of Antiochus I, and it included a massive throne-like building with sculptures of the monarch and different gods. The Kingdom of Commagene was short-lived, and by the mid-1st century CE, it had been subsumed by the Roman Empire. The Mount Nemrut sanctuary was abandoned shortly after, and the place sank into obscurity for many generations. It wasn't until the 19th century that the place was found by European tourists, who were impressed by the beauty and intricacy of the sanctuary. Since then, the site has been the focus of countless archaeological expeditions and preservation attempts, and it continues to intrigue scientists and visitors alike with its strange and enigmatic past. The narrative of the rediscovery of Mount Nemrut began in the 19th century, when European travelers and explorers started going into the distant areas of southeastern Turkey. One of the earliest missions to examine Mount Nemrut was undertaken by German engineer Carl Sester in 1881. Sester was attracted by the legends of a giant stone head that people talked about, and he was determined to uncover the forgotten place. Sester and his crew undertook extensive excavations at the site, exposing the colossal sculptures and temple buildings that had been buried beneath centuries of trash and neglect. The unearthing of the sculptures at Mount Nemrut stunned the globe with their enormous size and meticulous workmanship. The sculptures featured the gods, the monarch, and other people, and their artistry was regarded a wonder of ancient art. Alongside the sculptures, Sester and his colleagues also uncovered inscriptions that give insight on the history of the Commagene state and the religion of Antiochus I. Following Sester's discovery, Mount Nemrut became a topic of considerable curiosity for archaeologists, historians, and visitors from throughout the globe. Subsequent trips were conducted to better examine and record the location. In the 20th century, preservation efforts were undertaken to safeguard and restore the fragile sculptures and temple buildings at Mount Nemrut. These efforts included stabilizing the site, replacing damaged monuments, and establishing steps to avoid erosion and environmental harm. Today, Mount Nemrut has become a prominent tourist attraction, drawing tourists from all over the globe who are intrigued by its rich history and spectacular vistas. And thus, the rediscovery of Mount Nemrut has brought this historic landmark back into the limelight, showing its magnificence and relevance to the contemporary world. Join us in the following video, as we explore more secrets and riddles surrounding this fascinating site. Mount Nemrut's giant sculptures are certainly the most outstanding aspect of the site, and their interpretation has been a topic of considerable controversy and conjecture. Some academics assume that the sculptures symbolize the gods of the Hellenistic pantheon, since they exhibit a strong likeness to the Greek gods of Olympus. Others think that the sculptures reflect the Commagene ruler, Antiochus I, who claimed divine rank and strove to combine the Greek and Persian traditions in his reign. The inscriptions unearthed at the location give some insights into the significance of Mount Nemrut. They propose that the site was created as a symbol of the king's authority and the confluence of civilizations in his reign. The alignment of the sculptures is likewise a matter of discussion. Some say that the arrangement of the sculptures correlates to the locations of the stars in the sky, alluding to the astronomical importance of the place. The temple at Mount Nemrut has also been a topic of interpretation, with some researchers proposing that it acted as a place of worship for the monarch and his supporters, while others say that it functioned as a funeral monument for the king. The placement of Mount Nemrut itself has been viewed as a strategic decision by the monarch, who wished to establish his rule in a distant and rocky territory. Mount Nemrut's placement atop a mountain peak has also been viewed as a metaphorical image of the king's might and his link to the skies. Whatever the exact significance of Mount Nemrut may be, one thing is clear: it remains a tribute to the strength and ingenuity of the ancient world and a source of amazement and inspiration for those who visit it. Join us in the following film as we unearth more riddles and secrets of this amazing place. As we come to the conclusion of our tour through the peculiar history of Mount Nemrut, let's take a minute to recall its importance. Mount Nemrut, situated in modern-day Turkey, is a historic landmark that has intrigued historians, archaeologists, and visitors alike for ages. The huge sculptures, inscriptions, and temple uncovered at Mount Nemrut show evidence of a long and complicated past, with interpretations ranging from religious symbolism to political propaganda. The rediscovery of Mount Nemrut in the 19th century and subsequent preservation efforts have helped us solve some of its secrets, but many issues now remain unexplained. Today, Mount Nemrut is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, highlighting the cultural relevance and historical importance of this ancient civilization. Visitors from throughout the globe flock to Mount Nemrut to marvel at its magnificence and explore its significance, which continues to enchant and capture our minds. And thus, the narrative of Mount Nemrut, with its early origins, construction, rediscovery, and interpretations, remains a captivating monument to the grandeur of the ancient world. Thank you for joining us on this voyage of exploration. We hope you liked learning about the unique history of Mount Nemrut.